All right, welcome back, everyone. You're still with us here on the C Morning Show. As you can see, we're going to talk a little bit about how to protect our lovely Mother Earth. And it has to start from within. We have to look within ourselves. Now, take example for me in recent years, especially ever since I had a kid, I've started to be a little bit more conscious in regards to how to help the environment. For example, not using plastics, carrying your own shopping bags, although now that's become mandatory here in Jakarta at least, and also using my own straw everywhere I go and cutlery. But there's so much more that we can do as well.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of us are now familiar with green products thanks to the rise of the environmental organizations and corporations in the past few years. And one such community which aims to save the earth is Kertabumi. We have with us this morning the founder of Kertabumi, Ikbal Alexander, who will share his insight on methods that we can do to reduce plastic waste and thus lead to a more sustainable lifestyle. Good morning, Ikbal. Thank you so much for coming to our studio.
Thank you for having me.
I see that you've brought a lot of things, so could you please explain what's going on? What's this next to me, and what's that, and what's that?
Yeah, so we try to tackle plastic pollution from both the upstream and the downstream. In the upstream, we try to find alternative material for plastic. So we invented biodegradable foam like that one.
This one?
This one. So
this one is a biodegradable
so we made
foam.
this biofoam out of agricultural industrial waste, which is corn husk, to replace the styrofoam.
Oh, yeah.
This is really good.
Similar texture.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's more solid, actually.
Degradable, it's also eco-friendly and also affordable. And at the same time, we also empower people to produce their own soap. So we have like eco-friendly organic soap.
Wow.
That if people create their own soap, they don't have to buy commercial soap, which usually wrapped in plastic.
Ah, I see.
Right?
You're right.
So we could reduce the usage of plastic in the upstream. In the downstream, we have two methods, which is upcycling and recycling.
Right.
With upcycling, we rely on people's creativity to create something like this. This is the bag,
Right.
this discussion. And with recycling, we create things like that. We have
This one.
Yeah, we have like tables. We have this is chopping board,
How about things like this?
and also
my
that
feet.
one.
Look at my feet. Right?
And what about those?
Yeah, I think we made that flip-flop out of plastic bags.
What? Plastic bags?
Plastic
How?
As you can see, it's got
They have
some
brand on
retail branding inside it. Yeah, so it's obviously come from a shopping center of sorts, because we don't think about this. Sometimes, let's say we have flip-flops or sandals around the house. When they get worn out, what do? We throw them out. That's rubber and plastic in the garbage again.
That's true. Exactly. Well, this is all very interesting, Iqbal. So how did you start this project back in 2017? We know that you're an environmental graduate as well. I mean, you studied environmental.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was traveling back in 2017, and I found plastic in the peak of Mountain Rinjani, in the middle of jungle in Borneo. So I was like, we need to do something, and we couldn't just wait for government to make the initiation. So I make my own, started like some movement to clean up some beaches, but I think that's not enough. So I started to create like one thing, and then it leads to a bunch of stuff that I've created. But in the hope that people will change their mind, change their perspective about waste as just like a useless thing, but as a new material to create new products like this.
Right. What are the challenges so far? Because when you talk about changing one's mind, right? I mean, it takes what, 21 days to change a habit? So how do you usually engage with them in order to persuade them to adopt a more sustainable lifestyle?
Yeah, so we rely a lot on social media just to educate people that their waste could turn into something like this.
Yes.
So we do, back before the pandemic, we do a lot of workshops where people could just bring their waste and go back home with the recycled products. So in that way, they could change their way of thinking.
You mean do it themselves?
Yeah, so they could do it, make all the products that we make. So, and also we invest a lot in educating people in elementary school. So, so we think that to create this conscious generation, we should start from early age. So.
What makes Kertabumi different than others? So what I see is that you don't just focus on one thing. I mean, you mentioned yourself. What are the different terms you use? Instead of you're doing recycling, there's
Upcycling.
upcycling, exactly. So, I mean, is it difficult for you to be able to branch out into so many different things? Is that how you started, and what makes you guys different? Because I noticed with other companies, they may be focused on more one singular thing, and that's their specialty.
That's true. We try to create a methodology with low technology so people could imitate.
Okay.
And our source is open source in YouTube, so people could just learn how to make
for
it
free.
for free.
Right.
Because our ultimate goal is to reduce plastic pollution. The more people jump into the industry,
Yes.
it will be better. So we create platform for free, so anyone could just access and learn how to make all of this. So I think the unique of Kertabumi is that we give that education to people just to learn and to give access anyone who wants to learn about upcycling and recycling.
That's definitely a different
cool.
business model. Most people don't give away their secrets for free.
And that's very kind, though, Ikbal and your team. So you said earlier that you would like to encourage people to basically adopt this lifestyle. So if we're at home, well, this is our home, right? The C2Day studio is our home. So how would you, what's the process like? Because you've brought these, for example,
Yes.
the caps, bottle caps,
So-
and this.
Yeah, so it starts from this plastic bottle or plastic lids, and we thread into these flakes,
Look
right,
at the
like
flakes.
this. And after this, we put into a mold. We could make like a table or a chair or anything we want, and then we just heat it. So we could make table. So
Oh, this tabletop.
Yeah, I didn't realize until you said just table.
well, we have the real size, but it's too big to bring here. But the idea is that we could change wood or even steel out of plastic waste.
Wow.
So it's a very simple method and low technology. So I think, in the hope that everyone could imitate the process.
Right, so you would melt this.
Yes.
I would melt this in
Yes.
and in my home. How? How do I do that?
We use this like a normal oven.
Oh, it's an oven, and then you just melt it for
Yeah.
how long?
For 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
to
What temperature?
250 degrees Celsius.
250 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes.
Learn from our YouTube channel also.
Ah, there you go. What's the YouTube channel? It's just.
Kertabumi Recycling Center.
Oh wow, that is so cool.
What is the noticeable? I mean, you've done this for obviously for a few years. Has there been a noticeable impact? I don't know if there's going to be any data to support this, but in your own eyes, what sort of impact has there been? Because I'm noticing more and more of these programs. Obviously, it's not just Kertabumi.
When I started back in 2017, in the first month I did it, I recycle only 50 kilo waste
Yes.
per month. But
Only?
now, yeah.
That's 50 kilos more than more people.
But now, 4 years later, every month we recycle more than 60,000 kilo plastic waste.
Wow.
And I hope the number keeps on growing so we could reduce the plastic that polluted our environment.
How does that work? For example, I notice that, living in the city and then you keep buying products from the supermarkets and they tend to be packaged in plastic. And I feel awful for doing that. But sometimes I almost have no choice. And I know that Kertabumi also managed this waste
True, waste
bank.
management, yeah.
So how, if I want to sort of like give you my plastic waste, how do I do that?
Yeah, so we are running almost 100 waste bank throughout Indonesia. In Jakarta, we have like 20 waste bank. So waste bank is where people could just send their waste so we could recycle it. So our waste bank is listed on Gojek and also Grab. So you could just
really?
send your waste to our drop point. And
that's
then, yeah. So we want to make it easy for everyone to access to this waste management for free. So you could just send all of your unorganic waste so that we could recycle it, and every month you will get like a manifestation of the waste that we've been collected from.
Oh, how nice. So I just go to the Gojek application and then
Find Kertabumi Waste Bank.
Oh,
Cool.
it's already on there. That makes it
Yes.
easy. Honestly, I don't even mind paying for any transport fees, but yeah, exactly like you said, life is so much more convenient nowadays. Everyone's doing online shopping, but I notice day after day, the package comes. and it's got a box. It's wrapped up in plastic,
Yep.
and there's bubble wrap.
Bubble
There's bubble
wraps.
wrap on
That's
everything
true.
these days. So the more life gets convenient, the more waste we seem to be creating. And we need to counter
Yes.
that somehow. So do you take any sorts of plastics,
Yes.
cardboard,
Yeah.
things like
So
that?
basically, plastic-based waste, paper-based waste.
Okay.
So that's something that we could recycle. So you could just send anytime.
What about electronic waste? Do you
Yeah, it's also including e-waste.
really?
Like,
Oh my God.
Broken television, old laptops, you could just send to us.
I'm a client. I'm a client of yours already.
Now, obviously, there's programs that you have as well that's geared towards sustainability. Can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Yeah, we work a lot on sustainability, not only for waste management, but we also develop sustainable agriculture in 45 cities. So we develop hydroponics, aquaponics, where we could still do farming with less. We save 90% of water usage with this methodology. So yeah, basically sustainable agriculture, and also we invest a lot on creating eco-friendly products. So that is it's better for our environment, but also for our health. So that's a sector that we try to jump into.
That's really cool. How eco-friendly is this soap? I
So-
mean, it's like, it looks very beautiful.
So that's made of 100% coconut oil, and that one is from lavender.
It smells great, by the way.
So this is all from organic.
Yeah, we don't use like synthetical coloring and fragrance, so it's organic.
What about the shapes here? What are those? It's just.
Yeah, that just because we create like an artistic soap, so it'll be interesting. That's just one of the technique to make that
Nice.
soap.
I'm gonna use. I'm gonna. Okay, may I? May I
Yes.
use this to wash my hands?
It almost looks too nice to use.
I know, right?
The one is from
the pink one
carrot.
is so
Okay,
sweet.
well, really?
Yeah, this is from rose.
Okay.
Oh my God, carrot, rose.
And you know, I can tell just by the smell. It's more subtle than you would
Nice.
like the regular soaps you would find, but it smells less artificial. I don't know if I can explain that. I
Yes,
don't know if I'm
less
saying-
perfumey. I mean,
Yes, that's what I
yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It doesn't have that fake.
Oh my God, I love the feel of it. So what makes this soap particularly different from the other widely marketed
So
soap?
we don't use artificial coloring and fragrance.
Yeah.
And 100% is made of biodegradable material. And we try to put a lot of Indonesian local wisdom. Like here in Indonesia, they use a lot of vegetables and flour that just in Indonesia to make this soap.
That's
Want me to
amazing.
get that for you?
Thank
There
you.
go.
Yes, please.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh
does it feel?
wow! It feels so nice and soft. It doesn't feel severe. It doesn't feel like it would dry your skin.
Right.
Because if you're not careful with choosing the kind of soap that you use on your skin, either it's for washing your hands or for showering, usually, you know, like your skin will go dry.
Right.
And this feels so good.
Anything that is artificial.
I
and-
love it. I'm gonna grab some tissue
All right.
here. Oh my God, I love this. And you also, so how does that work? Because I know that Kertabumi is doing training programs as well for those who want to adopt a more sustainable life. And you also mentioned earlier that you're targeting elementary school kids so that in the hope that they would change their parents' minds. So how do you do it? Do the kids go to Kertabumi to attend the course, or do you go to the schools? How does it work?
Yeah, before we had
lovely.
a offline workshop where we went to the school, or the school could came to our workshop.
Yeah.
But now we changed a bit the business model, so we converted all of our workshop into virtual workshop, where they could just go to our website and find the workshop they want to do.
Is there a workshop on soap making?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so gonna attend that one.
That would be fun for kids too, as well, right?
Yes.
They learn about this stuff. Now,
Lovely.
we read as well that Kertabumi is spread across Indonesia. How widely spread is it, and how many people do you have that's involved in this program?
Now we have 2,500 active members, where all of them produce eco-friendly products and try to change their environment and create not only eco-friendly product but also recycled product, where their in their environment, they collect the waste and produce their own recycled products.
How does that work? Because you did say you mentioned something about employing artisans as well. Are they already coming with a set of skills, or do you have a training program if somebody's interested but they're not quite skilled enough to do it yet? How does that work?
That's true. So we have a free training school, so they could attend for 6 months, and then if they pass the examination, they automatically become the member of Kertabumi. And Kertabumi is a co-ops, cooperative, so they could be the member and also get benefit from becoming.
Okay, so that's an incentive as
Yes.
well, right? Very nice.
Yeah, this is so
We have a
awesome.
potential soap maker here.
Yes. So, and another thing, Ikbal, people tend to say, yes, we would like to adopt a more environmentally friendly sort of lifestyle. But a lot of the times, these products tend to be expensive. So what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I think most of the eco-friendly product is not in economic scales. They produce in very limited number, so the overhead is still
High.
still high.
right.
But I think it's just a matter of time until the big boys jump into the eco-friendly product and change the whole market. But what I see right now, it's still like a very niche market, but it's growing. I think also the pandemic kind of help people to kind of have a break and just think what they have done in their life.
Yep, that's correct.
So I think it's a very potential market to jump into conscious consumer.
Yeah.
We live in Jakarta, where I believe maybe in the larger metropolitan cities, I would tend to think that people are more aware because these programs are more existent in those larger areas. But how are these programs so far in the more rural areas of Indonesia?
Yeah, that's also a bit of a challenge for us because in rural areas where the gap between global issue like climate change or global warming, it's wider in rural because they couldn't relate to that kind of situation. So what we try to do is just to narrow the gap by addressing local issue. Like for example, when we went to Papua, the issue is deforestation, and so we try to wrap the environmental issue by addressing local issues, so they could relate to.
Right. This is how it's affecting you and your area.
In what way, for example? What was your approach when you went to Papua?
By empowering the local enterprise and also making sure that they doing the environmental practices, like for example, like we creating like eco-friendly packaging. If they want to sell something, instead of using plastic, we created like a paper out of trees, and also the material they use to produce something, we try to change with the material that doesn't degrade the environment. So basically, the economics still need to go on,
Yes.
but they need to consider the environmental factors so they don't, degrade and exploit, but still at the same time generate income for their own welfare.
Yeah. It's just a sustainable way to run the economy as well. Like for example, when we talk about energy, right? It's like oil has become relatively unpopular because we have to start to think about green energy nowadays, because that's how we are going to make this life sustainable on Earth, our only home, right?
Indeed.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Iqbal.
Iqbal, for your time and for
Thank you
explaining
for
all this. This is
having
very
me.
extensive, and we hope you continue to grow the community
Thank you so much.
all across.
I'm one of the members now.
That's right. And look forward to sending you all of my plastics and cardboards that are coming up. All right, we're going to take another break, but coming up, we're going to have a little chat with Tiza Mafira, who is an environmental law activist and an actress who starred in Pulau Plastic, which is a movie depicting the global plastic waste problem. That's all coming up after this.